Hey, wait a minute. Is anybody still there?
Yes.
How do we know when to start? What's the...
I can give a countdown. Oh, right. Yeah, he'll count down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will give the countdown as the primary commentator here.
Okay.
I'm just
Get dragging me all in. Get ready.
We have one of the most anticipated events of the entire marathon.
Yes.
Gunstar Heroes 4-way race. So the racers are Chronoon, right off the heels of his Vector Man run. Cypherin. Cypherin. Infamous. And Sanicman99. And to provide commentary for this wonderful race, we have Dagrin right here. So I'm gonna defer to them and have fun, everyone.
Thank you. So everyone is now on the title screen here. And they're all going to be playing on easy mode. As is tradition, it's the most competitive category of the 4 difficulties. And I will give the countdown here. So we'll get started. Okay, hold on. Go to the option menu, everybody, so that we don't have somebody accidentally go into demo mode. Okay, so I will now give the countdown of all exit options. Countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice is everyone's going to be selecting between 2 different options. The first is selecting between 2 different playstyles, the free shot and the fixed shot. I'll go more into that a little bit later. The other option that they had to choose from is which of the 4 elements they start as their primary weapon. Everyone chooses flame though, because it's got the most flexibility to choose from. The other major thing after those 2 options, though, is choosing between 4 selectable stages. This is, and as you can see here, everyone chose the same exact level, which is black. This is important because this is the level. This is the level that will kind of decide who's got the big early lead starting off. Dice Palace is... it's awful. Like, you pretty much ask anybody who's ever done this run ever, they know. They understand the pain that this level can bring. You might notice the space right before the boss space, that is called the way back space. You hit that space, you get sent back to the beginning of the board. And there's no real easy way to actually manipulate the dice. It sort of drops at it drops in a random sort of manner, and there's all sorts of like sub-pixel values that can change the value of the dice, like how many times it bounces, what height it drops from. You know, it's basically a very random part of the run. So far we're seeing a few appearances here of Melon Bread, everyone's favorite enemy. And yeah, ideally you want to have as many 3 rolls as possible. Although at times you do want it too, so you can land on the happy item space, which is a very quick to clear item room. Now, unfortunately, some of the races here do not have their ideal weapon. A couple of them do have their Flame Chaser. So most of the runners here are going to try to utilize as much Flame Chaser as possible. It does a lot of damage, and you have full control on it, and it also eliminates enemy projectiles. So really, really handy to actually have. So far here, it looks like Cypherin is just a little bit ahead of everybody here. He's coming on the last little stretch here. And there we go. Now eninfamousvy has his lightning. So there are two different types of weapon combinations you want to go with. There is the lightsaber, which also does a lot of damage, and it also gets rid of enemy projectiles, but it's got a bit shorter range, so there's a few fights where it does become a bit of a nuisance to deal with. So now comes the moment of truth. Who is going to get hit with Wayback here? Cypherin does not get the Wayback space. He clears Dice Palace. So overall, that was a very, very, very nice Dice Palace from Cypherin. So he's ideally going to cling to this top corner here and prepare some standing slides here, which is a half circle input, and then you want the final input of the D-pad to be the direction you want to slide. So that was actually very well handled by Cypherin there. Okay. And then eninfamousvy clears. He does not get the Wayback space. Oh no, and Sanicman dies on curry and rice, so he has to do it again. And Chronoon clears Dice Pallets. So far we did not have anyone actually hit the space. That's been some pretty decent luck. Unfortunate about that death by Sanicman. Hopefully he does not get the Wayback space after that. Curry and rice tends to be a pretty difficult fight to deal with for most. You ideally want to bait out the arm flailing attack so you can just run in and grab him. Sometimes you can get the grab on him, I think, in like the first frame, but it's pretty risky, and I don't think you can grab him if he does the flip kick. So at this point, pretty much all the runners are probably going to go their own route here, of all the ones that have cleared Dice Palace. You can see that Cypherin has decided to move on to Pink stage here, which is a much more simple stage and a much more shorter stage. Usually I opt to choose this stage first, just because there is a lot more options to get my ideal weapon. You can see that eninfamousvy has opted for the green stage, which is entirely an auto-scroller. There is a couple of spots, though, where he will want to kill a couple enemies as fast as possible. Oh, no. Okay, so, and it looks like Chronoon has opted for Pink stage as well. Periodically, you'll also see some phantoms actually drop by, which you just saw Chronoon face over there. And they have a little bit more health than the standard minions. Here's the boss. Hopefully, yeah, Cypherin already getting that standing slide going and getting really good luck on that fight there. Yeah, the AI of the pink fight. Yeah, the AI of the pink fight is actually not very not particularly smart. I'm just gonna hang on a moment here. Okay. Sorry about that. So, yeah. And now you can see Cypherin is moving on. Kind of moving on to the green stage here. And you can see the enemies I'm talking about. You have to get rid of that on an eninfamousvy screen here. You got to get rid of them as soon as you can so you can advance to the next part of it. And optimizing that damage is key to save whatever time you can, especially on an auto-scroller. And it looks like he's about to be facing 7 forces, which it's quite a few differences throughout the there's quite a few differences between the difficulties with this fight. In easy, you face only 3 forms. In normal, you face 5 forms, and then in hard and expert, you face all 7 forms. So, I guess what I mean to say is that in easier difficulties, there's a little bit of luck involved with it. So we'll see what eninfamousvy gets here on the luck side of things. Oh, and unfortunately, Sanicman had yet another death on Dice Palace. Dice Palace doing a number here. So, Urchin, unfortunately, is not very good luck, especially when you have Lightsaber. But eninfamousvy is going to try to make the most of that. This is what I mean when I say that Lightsaber can have a little bit of limitation with how you can utilize it in certain fights. He did manage to get past the first phase of that fight, which is the important part, and now he's forced out. Okay, so Crab is actually really simple for Lightsaber, so that's just actually a good base to get with Lightsaber, so that's not too bad. You probably could have opted for maybe Equal Force or something like that. And now Cypherin is almost on his way to the green, or to the 7 forces fight himself, as Chronoon is on his way, as he has also now selected the green stage. Keep in mind, of course, we don't exactly know who's in the lead until after the first 4 stages are complete. eninfamousvy is doing the pink stage, so we're gonna probably have at least a little bit of a better idea of who's in the lead, since they've all opted to choose orange stage last. So Soldier Force is all about just kind of baiting out his attacks there and just trying to keep a constant string there. You can see this fight is a little bit easier with so you got a little more flexibility and dependency on pattern. Oh, very, very nice. Getting Tail Force and then getting the Blaster Force. Cypherin was a little out of position there, but manages to deal with him just fine. And Chronoon is kind of creeping closer towards fighting 7 forces himself. So it's looking like Cypherin has got a bit of a lead here, heading into orange, and I guess I'll take this time now to probably explain about a little particular thing that happened the last blasting contest, and that is the potential to soft lock. Granted, temporary soft lock. It lasts about a minute and a half, where you go into a complete free fall. There is now. Last time we didn't really know a way to actually avoid this, but after a little bit of digging, I finally found the answer, and it has to do with the stage itself and its oscillation cycles. You might, once Cypherin gets to the very top of the ship, you'll probably notice the ground he's standing on there, the airship that you can see orange in there at right now. It actually oscillates up and down, and an entire up and down cycle is one entire cycle, and it's got to finish that oscillation cycle Otherwise, if it doesn't finish that oscillation cycle before your encounter with Smash Daisaku, who is the M. Bison knockoff you probably caught a wind of. If you encounter him before the oscillation cycle finishes, you will get the orange soft. Oh man, that's rough. Okay, so unfortunately, even after 2 deaths, Sanicman wound up getting the way back space. That's off. That's rough. I'm sorry, man. Hopefully he doesn't die, though. That would be the absolute worst case scenario. If I was him, I would probably opt to take that health. Which he did. Thank God. Thank God. I'm hoping he doesn't die this time. But getting back to what's happening on Cypherin's screen here, he's just going to finish off this mini-boss here. And he's going to try to delay it just long enough. Yep. And to finish the cycle. That's good. So it's looking like Cypherin's not going to get the orange soft lock here. And so all he really needs to do is just finish off the M. Bison knockoff, Smash Daisaku. And now he's going to have his fight with Orange here. Orange is typically a pretty scary fight. Sometimes he can just completely grab you and just chuck you off the helicopter here. But he's also kind of weak to throws, especially in harder difficulties. He's weak to throws. You can actually chain this particular fight with all these throws by just simply baiting out his little arm flex there and the blue explosion there. Of course, it is a little bit risky if you don't know the timing. You can see that Cypherin's trying to get it. He does finish him off. A little bit of a scary fight. Took quite a bit of damage there, but he did manage to get through it. And eninfamousvy and Chronoon are on the same exact mini-boss fight. Well, and eninfamousvy got past it. And he's now about to fight, Smash Daisaku. Chronoon and eninfamousvy are pretty much side by side here, and but if you want to know what's kind of going on now on Cypherin's screen here, he's on his way to try and save Yellow, who got captured. I keep forgetting the guy's name. I just call him the Empire because I don't know. I just do that. There are particular quick kills with these phantoms Cypherin is going to be facing periodically throughout this level, but it's pretty tough to do. You have to grab these big floating platforms that chase you around. Wow. Never mind. There's another way you can quick kill them. Just physical them to death and they just die instantly like that. Like that's what happened to the Black Phantom there. You also notice Cypherin's actually just bullying his way through with all these physical attacks to get through these boxes as soon as possible, and he throws the platform to kill off Yellow Phantom instantly. That is the quick kill that you just saw there on the Yellow Phantom. So right now, Cypherin is going through the entire gauntlet here, and we're finally Sanicman, as Sanicman finally gets out of Dice Palace. Real rough bout for him. I mean, it happens. Dice Palace can be pretty rough. Hopefully, there won't be any more hiccups. Do be sure to give him your energy, though. Try to give him the motivation to finish his run. I know he's going to be very far behind the other runners, but you know, I'm sure he's going to need it. So right now, Cypherin is on Smash Daisaku here. You get to have your final showdown with this guy instead of him having these brief appearances. This fight could become an equalizer. I do know Cypherin has at least told me from time to time that he that Smash can sometimes get a couple key grabs on him and cause a little bit of problems. You don't want to actually die at any point in this level because it will send you all the way back. So if Cypherin does die on this fight, he will end up behind Chronoon and Infamous. But he did manage to take him out, so and in pretty healthy shape. So good show, Cypherin. Meanwhile, Infamous actually making up some ground here. It looks like on Cypherin, entering the Smash Daisaku fight himself now. And Chronoon not too far behind, just kind of trying to bully his way through these big guys. Ideally, you do want to physical attack them to get them out of the way as soon as possible. Sometimes the minions can be a bit trolly, though, and they could just throw out the kick, and usually they'll have greater priority when trying to hit you over you hitting them. So it's looking like everyone on the yellow stage is in healthy shape. One of the interesting things about Smash Daisaku and that little drill attack he just did on Chronoon's screen, you can actually physical him while he's doing this. And the important thing about physical attack is every time you connect a hit of damage with physical, it does 100 damage. So it's your biggest damage dealing move in the entire game. But of course, like the lightsaber, it's also got a bit of limited use.
Oh man.
Because of, you know, lack of range and stuff.
Well, that's exciting. My game just froze.
Oh no.
So right now on Cypherin's screen, and okay, sorry. Before that, Infamous managed to get past him. Managed to get past Smash. I don't know what's going on Chronoon's screen just yet. I seem to have dropped connection with him there. But as far as Cypherin is concerned, he's now in the space stage, and this is a very, very long auto scroller. It's what happened?
Chronoon, what happened?
My game just froze.
Outage?
No, it just froze.
Power outage?
No. It might have been I don't know, dirty contact. Yeah. It's hard to say if it was the game or the console. Just randomly froze.
Sorry, I got everybody muted here. Hang on. Alright. Okay, I've unmuted you, Chronoon. What happened?
The game just froze, man. Just fighting him like normal. Video stopped. Audio kept on repeating.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. Well. So, I don't know what we're going to be able to do, since I think we're actually capturing Chronoon's audio here. But, yeah, that's probably going to be GG for Chronoon. I'm sorry, man. That's rough. I never knew the game could actually crash there.
Yeah.
That is a first.
I doubt it was the game so much as like the console I have. Maybe it's a little bit dirty or something. It's happened on a few other games I own. It's one of the problems of actually owning physical hardware. Gotta be pretty on the maintenance, and even then things can get old and stuff. I can kind of cheese the audio here, and I think people are probably on the space stage right now.
So, yeah, if you want to have an update, Cypherin currently is in the lead here. He is heading into the second asteroid section. Infamous, not too far behind, but he is only just dealt with our final appearance of Timeron. That small little enemy you saw that Infamous just dealt with there is Timeron. you may or may not have seen during Dice Palace. But he's like a short 1 second fight if you play it correctly. But that's the stats of those two runners, and unfortunately Sanicman had two very unfortunate deaths near the tail end of Dice Palace, and then subsequently got the way back space after on his third go-around. So it's unfortunately a pretty bad situation for him as well. Pretty unfortunate about that. Pretty unfortunate about that with Sanicman. Sanicman, I think, is on his, I believe this is his third stage now, though. I'm not sure if he's done Pink Stage yet or not. If not, this would be his second stage, I think. Cypherin, of course, now on to the second mini-boss here. You kind of have to try to get rid of the enemy projectiles before they actually come. I thought something was wrong with the VLC thing. I didn't know you actually crashed there.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope it wasn't the game, because that means I'm not going to be the only one this happens to. The distant future, some runner on a record pace is going to die. The Smash Die Saga.
Yeah, because the game just crashed. Not because he killed you, but because the game just killed itself.
Oh,
just self-destructed. Yeah. So the idea behind well, I mean, since you're now out of the race because the game decided to crash, I mean, you can jump in on commentary if you want, Chronoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit delayed. I'll be just watching this stream.
Okay. All right. So, the idea behind the space auto-scroller is you want to try to fire as little as possible. Try to induce as little lag as you can, or try to cause as little lag as you can. This is, of course, primarily if you run on console. Emulator, I'm not as sure about. And Cypherin is now on the refight with 7 forces here. This fight is also very luck dependent, and oh man. Cypherin gets the bird form. This is the one you don't want because it's so laggy. You also want to try to kill... you also want to take out the mech as close to the left side of the screen or the bottom of the screen as you can, because that fades out the fight sooner. But regardless, Cypherin managed to get through it just fine. And now he's trying to get some health in order to ensure that he gets through the trio unit without any real problems. You can kind of see here, though, Infamous has a little bit of an easier time. One of the few places Lightsaber's actually really beneficial over Flame Chaser is the space level. Like, you can deal with pretty much most of the threats, and you can actually really not cause much of any lag during that entire section. But speaking of things that aren't friendly to the lightsaber, oh, and I should also say the 7 Forces fight is quite a bit less luck dependent with the lightsaber, because you have a lot more ways of dealing with it. Although Green being a little bit aggressive with Infamous there, Cypherin. However, the fight Cypherin is on is where lightsaber can kind of trail a bit behind on. It's kind of hard to actually deal with fights like the Unit of Dragon with lightsaber. And you can see it's a little easier to track down with Flame Chaser on that fight. And again, these runners want to try to utilize physical as much as possible so that they can do the most damage they can. And you can see Cypherin's working his way through that. Oh, and unfortunately, Unit Runner trolling him a little bit there. Just getting hit by the arm there. You do want to try to get right in the smack dab middle of that circular motion that he does for his arm. Doesn't really matter though. He dealt with him just fine. As we see and Infamous V is going to make very short work of the unit of hammer here, is what I would have said, but somehow the hammer got the hit on him. Probably may have jumped just a little bit too high. Oh, and Cypherin trying to physical down this first guy. So Cypherin's now on the boss rush here. This is the final boss rush before the final boss of the game. A little clever use of the interface there. There's like an overlay of all the villains in the game, just kind of watching from a screen as you're taking all of them out one by one, and each one of them leaving the scene as their fight is about to come to be. So Cypherin's just needs to kick his way through these. Just a little late on that kick. And now Cypherin moves on to the pink fight here, the pink reef fight. This little lobster here can be a little bit of a problem. You want to try to bait out the physical attacks so that you can do all this free physical damage. Although if you do force the bubble attack, on easy mode, the pink lobster actually will not block. Higher difficulties, she will though, so that's something to keep in mind. And now Cypherin moves on to one of the hardest fights for most runners, and that is the orange reef fight. Some of the attacks this guy does can do like 50 damage, and this can be yet another fight where it can be another great equalizer fight if he messes up. But it looks like Cypherin is playing the avoidance game, which is probably the smart plan. And I guess eventually once Orange's health gets once his health gets low enough, he'll start trying to utilize this little charge attack where he goes from the bottom of the screen to the top of it. And kind of likes to do a lot of elbow dropping, but the elbow actually has a weird hitbox, and it's hard to actually. It's hard for him to actually hit you with it. Oh, very nice. So you can see that Cypherin actually managed to force Black out of leaving the screen there, and that's what happens that's what we call the Black 2 quick kill. If you do enough damage to him, you actually force Black to not leave the screen and actually do his laser attack, which is exactly what you want. Because if he does leave the screen, he's left completely vulnerable to all of your attack. Or if he leaves the screen, you have to wait like, I don't know, 15 seconds before he finally reappears.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like he got the stun lock on green too.
Yeah.
I guess green 3.
Mm-hmm. You may not know how it works exactly yet, but yeah, you can stun lock green here, this final fight here. And yeah, it's. I mean, if you don't know how to stun lock him, probably the best course of plan is to just keep your distance and try to keep the damage applied. Because once green actually jumps, he's completely got iframes and he has no hit stun, so he can just freely jump towards you and just get a grab on you. Ooh, okay. Green playing the mind tricks with him. He still manages to get him down, though. As Sanicman is now on to the Smash Daisaku fight. He's trying his best. Oh, very nice utilization of the kick there. You got some iframes to work with if you actually kick at a certain point. It's still a pretty scary situation for Sanicman. Oh boy. Yeah, and it looks like Infamous did not get the green sunlock either. He may try to do it for and Green being a troll here with his little block attack. Once if his health is too high, he will do that stupid block thing. You have to actually force Green to have low enough health in order for him to do the shuriken attack. And it looks like Cypherin's now on the gold and silver fight here, not actually doing the manipulation on the fight. His goal here is to damage the gems. And, yeah, the more damage you accumulate depends on how many of them you're hitting all at once. So you want to try to hit all of them all at once, and there you go. It looks like Cypherin managed to take out gold and silver. So regardless of whether or not he went for the manipulation, he did manage to take him out just fine with plenty of health to spare, and this is going to be timed very shortly for Cypherin. As we see gold and silver burst to the roof, and the ship goes after it, and there it is, time. And he managed to get a 33-12 out of that run. Now, Infamous, and of course, unfortunately, as I was distracted trying to keep up with the current leaders of this race, it does look like Sanicman died on Smash Daisaku in the yellow stage, and this is what I mean. This is what I meant when I said it's very costly to die in this level, because you have to do it all over again. This game does not screw around. It does not screw around. It does not care about your feelings. It will punish you if you don't finish the job. But Sanicman's gonna try again, and he's gonna hopefully try to work it out. Oh boy! That you can see that laser gem can quite a bit of damage to do any damage there. So when you force gold and silver actually into the background there, he will choose between 4 different gems, 1 out of the 4 gems to attack you with. The ideal situation would be to get a Chaser or the Force gem. And yeah, he opted for the double fire there. It does do good damage against gold and silver, and it will now be timed very shortly for Infamous there. There it is. I don't know what his final time is, because he doesn't have a timer going on his particular stream there. But GG's to him.
GG's.
So I'm not sure if Cypherin's run was a PB or not. Oh, yeah, Infamous said he forgot his time, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. It probably wasn't a PB anyway, considering Cypherin's run was like 33 minutes, but it's all good. So I'm not sure what the staff's gonna try to do if Sanicman. Oh God. Okay, so each time Smash gets a grab on you, you take 20 damage. So this is a very scary situation for Sanicman. He is trying to do a nice little. He's doing a nice little. Oh no! No, not like this, dude. Oh man. Oh, and it looks like he has decided to forfeit by the looks of it. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. I was hoping for him to pull through, but yeah, game did not treat him nice. He got 2 deaths on Dice Palace, and then subsequently got hit with the bye-bye in Dice Palace after on his 3rd go-around, and just another death on Smash Daisaku. 2 in a row there. That is definitely a rough one to take. I cannot blame him for forfeiting on that one. I would say GG's, but he probably would not. He would probably not like that very much, so. You know, tough luck, but you know, that's Gunstar Heroes for you. Even on easy, it can still be a problem. Even on easy.
Yeah, well, it was still a very exciting race. The audience loved it. I loved it. So once again, I'd like to give a shout out to every one of the racers here. So Chronoon, Cypherin, Infamous, and Sanicman. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dagrin, for the excellent commentary. This was a blast to see.
It was my pleasure. Again, I do feel bad for both Chronoon and Sanicman. For Chronoon for the unfortunate crash during Smash, and well, pretty much everything that went wrong, that could have went wrong for Sanicman. So, yeah.
No,
All right.
Sometimes you got to show off both sides of the game, the good and the bad, I guess.
The good and the bad. The good and the bad. Happened last time, and it happened this time. So, I guess before we switch over to the next game, I do want to say that unlike last time, we now have a Discord for this game. So we do try to formulate we try to share our strats there, and you know, if you were ever interested in picking up this game, you know, we have somewhat of a community. It's not the most active, but it's been picking up. We've been having a couple people really step up their game, and unfortunately, the couple of examples that really did step up their game could not be available today. One of them just has a busy schedule in general. It doesn't matter what day, so he couldn't formulate an actual consistent schedule. And the other one had a fighting game tournament he had to tend to. So, but we did try to pick who we thought would produce a close and even race, and well, we tried anyway. I don't know if we were successful, but you know, we tried. So that's all you can do.
Indeed. And up next, we actually have Dagrin doing a run, The Revenge of Shinobi, so stay tuned.